Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Overleveled podcast. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, everyone, for a few things. One, my audio quality. We mentioned it in our upcoming video that's not a podcast. That is a reaction of The World Ends With You episode 1 anime. But basically, the nice podcast that I use was mistakenly left over at DJ's home kind of recently. So right now I'm using the Blue Yeti microphone, which is fine. It's not the worst thing in the world. We just want to get this audio to you ASAP, because other thing I apologize for is being a couple days late on this. Scheduling conflicts happened, and that shit's just kind of bound to happen. So, but we're here now, and we got we got a good one for you. First things first, because I'll just get this out of the way fast, because we only had one comment on the YouTube video, but this is in regards to the question of the week for last week's episode. The question of the week was, what is your favorite video game? Or what was your first video game? So, Devil Moon on YouTube says, my favorite video game is Persona 3 FES, but Dark Souls 1 is a close second. And number 2, on what was your first video game, he says, I don't remember, but it's probably Super Mario, since it's the only one I really remember. You're probably not alone in that boat. Yeah, I feel like that was one of my first games too. Also, yeah, so thank you so much for replying to that. If you're listening to this now, we will ask another question at the end of this podcast, and we will be reading all of the replies that are posted either in our Discord chat or under the YouTube videos. But if you want to go ahead and reply on Twitter, or if you see me ask it on Facebook or something like that, we'll read those too. So thank you again. Before we go ahead and answer them for ourselves, real quick, I did tell you this, DJ, about my recent acquisition of a certain video game that I just want to shout out. A listener / friend of mine, Chelsea, she messaged me. Right. She messaged me and was like, "Hey," asking me just kind of like how we're doing with the podcast and all that. And I'm like, "Oh, it's going really good. I feel like we've got some good viewership, like really early on, a lot faster than I thought we were." Just kind of gushing about how much I love doing this podcast. And then she's like, "Oh, are you going to talk about the Final Fantasy 14, the new DLC that's coming out, Endwalker?" I'm like, me and DJ, we're still kind of playing through A Realm Reborn, and getting through some of that other DLC. But, I would love to get there eventually and kind of give updates on that sort of stuff. And then she was like, "Okay, cool. Have you played Monster Hunter Rise yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." And she's like, "Oh, you should definitely talk about it on the show whenever you get a chance." And I'm like, "Yeah, I would. I definitely do want to talk about it." I'm trying to adjust my gain while I talk here. I definitely do want to talk about the game. Just was saying, we're not really in a spot right now though to just buy a full priced game, because if you're buying brand new Switch games, they're still $60, but now PS5 games are like $70. Yeah. So it's like games have just kind of. They're not very cheap, so I'm like, I just can't buy a whole game right now. I just can't. And then this woman, she literally sent me a $10 and a $50 Nintendo code to give me $60 to buy Monster Hunter Rise, that we could fucking talk about this game.
That is crazy.
So yeah, I mean, just real fast, only because I've played it for like 2 hours so far since she's gifted me the game. this is literally my very first Monster Hunter game. I've never played Monster Hunter before.
Okay.
But, you know, just judging by everything that I was seeing from the game, I was interested. I like the aesthetic of it, and I like, you know, those pseudo open world kind of games, and you just got big maps to run around in and big monsters to kill and big weapons to kill them with, you know. I mean, I'm into it. It's hard to explain just as someone who's not super familiar with it, but I feel like there is kind of a learning curve to the way that this game operates compared to other action adventure games, you know? But I like it. It's good. Like I said, there's just kind of a learning curve of getting used to it. But, you know, this is one of those things where even... Dude, I played this game for like an hour and tried for like 30 minutes to kill my very first monster, and I died, and I said, fuck this, I hate this game, thanks for wasting your money on me.
Monsters,
you know?
Monsters take a while to kill in that game. Jesus Christ.
I was frustrated the first time, but then I was like, I literally, what brought me to go back to the game was literally that thought of like, I can't do that to her, you know, like she literally bought me this game so that I would play it. I'm not going to put in 1 hour and just say, no, fuck this. So I played it for a little bit more, and I actually, I did a different mission and killed a different monster, and it took me a while, and I almost died, but I didn't. And seriously, I beat that monster, and it felt so fucking good.
Nice.
You know, the only reason why I didn't continue playing it was because it was 11 o'clock at night and I had to be like leaving to go to work by 6 o'clock in the morning the next day, you know? Yeah. But, you know, I think that's really what I am seeing about the game that I am really enjoying is just that idea of accomplishment, or that sense of accomplishment whenever you do finally kill a monster that takes you fucking 45 minutes to try to beat.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's how a lot of people feel Dark Souls, too. Like that satisfaction of killing a hard boss. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Dark Souls is a bit more fast-paced because...
Oh, 100%.
you're just kind of... There are constantly enemies. Like, you're lucky if you find a spot where there's no enemies, you know? Monster Hunter Rise, so far, it seems like there's a lot of time and a lot of area to, you know, recuperate, I guess, and just kind of get your shit together and go on to the next big baddie.
Definitely.
But damn, man, when I killed that first boss, it felt good. I'm excited to continue playing it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you haven't played it yet, have you?
I have not played Rise, but I have played the previous one, World. I haven't been in it, but the much that I played has been really enjoyable, and eventually I will go back and finish it because that was really fun.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, if I maybe when I'm like halfway done with the game or something, or whenever I beat the game or something like that, I'll continue to give. I don't know if updates are the right words, but you know, just my impressions of it, just as it is my very first one. So
yeah.
But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise. So far, it was scary at first, but it won me over when I killed the first boss. So I'm excited for it to continue to win me over. Okay.
Nice.
So kind of going back to those questions that we asked last week. You know, what was your first video game? What were your favorite video games? This episode will be less focused on, I guess, kind of what's going on with the RPG scene in general, and more so who me and DJ are. We've known each other for a little while, and we've worked on various projects together, and you know, we've got to know each other pretty well, but maybe there's still some things that he doesn't know about me that he wants to know about, or maybe, you know, vice versa, I want to know about him. But realistically, pretty much all of y'all don't know jack about us, so this will be kind of a like an icebreaker question kind of episode where we'll just kind of we'll get to know each other. Y'all will get to know us. It'll be fun. So, DJ, I ask you, what was your very first video game?
Fuck if I know. It's hard to tell. I think from what I remember, the first video game that I just remember actively playing a couple of times was those plug-and-play games. Like the ones that you'd plug into the TV and just play. Like I had a bunch of those. I had the Star Wars ones. I had the Atari ones, which I'd play a lot of those. Especially the Star Wars ones. Gotta play a lot of those. Mainly just plug-and-play games. But my very first system was the PlayStation, because I remember my mom bought my dad the PlayStation 1, and then eventually my dad just gave it to me, and that was like my first console for that. But I think, the plug-and-play games were my first video game. There may have been one before that, but that's the earliest ones that I remember were the plug-and-plays.
Yeah.
What about you?
Nice. Well, like, do you remember, I guess past the plug-and-plays, do you remember what your first, like, full game was? That, like, I guess maybe it was the first game that you just beat, but, you can kind of look back and consistently be like, this really was, like, maybe I've played other games beforehand, but this really was my first game.
Maybe Pokemon Leaf Green, because I definitely remember back when I used to go to daycare, a lot of the older kids, they would be playing Pokemon on their DSs or Game Boy Advances, and I was so jealous. I'd just be like, can I play? And they were fucking assholes and wouldn't let me play. And eventually, I did get Pokemon Leaf Green from the store I think it was called Hollywood Video was the name of the store.
Yeah,
they just had a bunch of just games.
Hollywood Video and Game Crazy.
Yeah, Game Crazy, that's what it was. Yeah. They had a bunch of games.
One in the same store.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember I bought Pokemon Leaf Green from there, and I was just so enthralled. Like, I think I still remember the first time when I was just sitting on the floor of my room, just picking out my first Pokemon, Squirtle, of course, and just playing around the world and that. And, like, yeah, I think that was probably my first game ever, and I still remember getting my Blastoise all the way up to level 100 and not caring at all about my other Pokemon. I was a fucking kid. This is dumb. I think Pokemon Leaf Green was my first. At least I can remember my first game that I was like, this is the shit.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Bring a tear to my eye, those memories. Yeah. Which, that's nice for me to hear, too, because I have heard you tell that story to me. And it's nice to continue to affirm that is consistent. Like, that story of you in the daycare.
Yeah.
And playing Pokemon Leaf Green. That's awesome, man.
Fuck yeah.
So for me, I'm kind of with Devil Moon here, and maybe it was the first Super Mario Brothers game. Like, I feel like that was the first one that I kind of played for a little bit, and I feel like I played it on my dad's old ass computer. I feel like he had some sort of like this must have been like 2002, and like one of like the very first forms of emulation or something, because I don't know, I feel like I remember playing it like with a keyboard or something. But yeah, I it might have been that, but kind of on that same like train of like, I feel like this was my really truly my first game. I remember it was Christmas of 2003, and I was 4 years old, and my aunt bought me a Nintendo GameCube.
Ooh.
And yeah, this was the hottest shit, at least compared to like
definitely
the PS2 and the Xbox, which understandably so. If you're gonna buy one of those three for a fucking 4-year-old, like, the GameCube makes more sense. I feel like there were more kid-friendly, family-friendly games on that.
Definitely.
But anyways, yeah, the GameCube was my first console, and my aunt bought me one game, and it was based off of my favorite TV show of all time, at least back then. Even now, it still holds up. But SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Oh, that's right.
And I've definitely told this story. If you follow us on Videoverse, I know I've told DJ this story, and Brandon knows it, and maybe Cole knows it too. But like, you know, this is a story I've shared. And man, this game, I remember specifically, like, plugging in my game, or like, you know, maybe I got help from it, but literally the whole setup process of getting this GameCube set up and playing through like the first like hour of the game and shutting it off and turning it back on again, not realizing that I was supposed to have a memory card. Like, they just didn't. I guess maybe it came with a memory card and I didn't have it plugged in, or I just didn't have one or something. But yeah, memory cards, man. Yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for... And this was also, I believe, the very first game I beat as well. I think that was the only game I had for a long time. And I think I may have still been either 4 or 5 years old when I beat that game. Damn. Like, literally, like, this was my first video game, and I played the shit out of it. But, yeah, man. Freaking memories, man. Same thing as you, of just, like, that feeling of like I can literally visualize myself sitting on the carpet, just like, and this, you know, old CRT TV in front of me, and I'm just sitting in front of it while my like granny and my aunt are just like in the same room, kind of just like watching me be really enthralled as I saw characters that I remembered, like Plankton and Bubble Man and shit like that. Yeah. So it was really fucking awesome for me. Like, I'm not like, there's very few games that I will pre-order. And maybe it sounds really silly for me to say that I pre-ordered the remake, but holy shit, man. When Rehydrated came out, the remake, nearly like a little under a year ago, I think, man, like, I went straight from playing Final Fantasy VII Remake to just being like, okay, well, I'm done with that. Now to play SpongeBob SquarePants.
Now for the real shit.
The real game.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
Awesome.
That was really nice, just being able to kind of relive all those levels and stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Man. Okay. Well, so those were our first games. And I think maybe for this next one, we kind of did talk about it, maybe in some previous episodes. Like, maybe we touched up on it. But do you have a favorite video game?
Nope.
No?
I don't have a favorite movie, anime, or video game. Or just any, for any medium. Like, I can't say. I mean, so, I have, like, I don't have, like, this is, like, my all-time favorite. I have favorites, but not, like, this is number one, you know?
Sure, yeah. Well, okay, so maybe let's reword this. Maybe this is just as hard. But, DJ, if you were stranded on an island and had one game with you, what do you think you would bring with you?
Damn.
I know there's a lot of like aspects that go into it. Because I guess
I'm thinking, for me, it would probably have to be a game that has a lot of replayability. Like, every time that I play it, I can do a bunch of different things per playthrough. Because after like 2 or 3 playthroughs, I'm just like, I want to play something fucking different.
Yeah. So
it would have to be, something like that.
Yeah, so I feel like this definitely is this really is a different question than what your favorite game is, because for me, the Breath of the Wild is not what I would consider my favorite video game, but I think that's the one that I would bring with me on a desert island, you know?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to do in that.
Like, I've played that game for over fucking 200 hours, and I'm, like, barely... Like, you can open up the menu, and it shows you, like, a percentage of how much of the game you've really completed, and I've beaten the story and done a lot of the DLC. I played this shit for over 200 hours, and I'm just a little over a quarter of the way done.
Jesus.
Like, 28% done or something. And so whenever people, like, the completionist did his whole thing of saying, like, oh, here, like, I 100%ed Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It was not surprising to me that that video was like an hour long, you know, like, because there's just so much shit to do in that
for a
game.
fact. That's a big game.
What about just like, I guess franchise? Do you have a favorite game franchise? Like you find yourself consistently always going back to? Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Probably. It's definitely up there.
Yeah. I would, yeah, it's hard. I feel like it would make sense for me to, but then at the same time, there's plenty of Final Fantasy games that I've just never played before. Mm-hmm. Whereas, Kingdom Hearts, for instance, I can for sure say I have played and beaten and just about nearly 100%ed every fucking Kingdom Hearts game, even like 358 Days Over 2 and Recoded on the DS, you know, like I've played those games to oblivion. So they're up there in my favorite series, but also Metal Gear Solid is the same way for me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. For me, it's kind of a jambalaya. Maybe that's not the right word, but just this
Final Fantasy is the only series for me. It would probably be Final Fantasy, Disgaea, the Dark Souls series, and Pokemon also with all those. And Tekken, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. I didn't know how big into Dark Souls you were.
Oh, yeah, I like Dark Souls a lot.
Like, like I know that you and Brandon have played it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just was, I whenever I think of, like, the Dark Souls fan, I just immediately assume Brandon as that person. Maybe that's just because he has the tattoo.
Oh, no, he's definitely a bigger fan. No, he's a bigger fan of it than I am, but I still really enjoy that series. And I've been in a couple of the games.
Yeah. Okay, so those are some of our favorite game series for sure. Let's see. I did mention tattoo earlier, and this is kind of a throwaway question that I brought up to you, but DJ, as a tattoo-less person,
Yep.
If you were to get, well, first of all, do you ever plan on getting any tattoos ever?
Maybe. I mean, at the moment, not really. I have no interest at the moment.
Okay. Well, let's build some interest here. If you were to ever get a tattoo, maybe you don't know exactly what it would be, but do you think it would have something to do with a pop culture thing like video games, or would it be something more like sentimental, like friends or a family kind of thing?
Oh, sentimental? Hell no.
Or some shit.
Not hell sentimental. No. Fuck that. It'd probably be something pop culture related to anime or video games or both. Probably like a mixture.
Okay.
I probably have like one side anime, one side video games. Probably do something like that.
Do you know who HMK is?
Sounds familiar.
He does a lot of videos that is like Zelda theories and like Kingdom Hearts theories and shit.
Oh yeah.
So his fucking HMK. He if you just like look at his like logos and shit, it's just like this big explosion. Like it's one logo, but it's so over the top. It's like you got the Kingdom Hearts heart or something, and you got the Roxas logo. So it's like you got some Kingdom Hearts shit, but also embedded in that is also the Triforce. It's just like this big, like, I guess, I don't know, this big painting of a, it's just a lot going on. So that's what I think of whenever you said that, but I hope it's more elegant. Okay, yeah. I probably would get some video game tattoos. Yeah. I'd probably get like a video game tattoo. Something, maybe. I don't know. I do have tattoos though.
Man, you are cutting out like crazy. Jesus, I'm just
Oh, am I really?
Yeah.
My bad. How am I sounding now?
Not your fault. You're fine now.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. I might have been rubbing on the cable or something. I'm not sure. It could just be lag. Anyways.
Yeah, probably.
So, I do have tattoos, and me and Brandon, if you don't know who Brandon is, just go click on any new video of Videoverse, the God of War series. I know Brandon and DJ have played that, so he's also my roommate, and me and him actually just got matching tattoos because we both had a night. We weren't even like drinking or anything. It was just we were just tired. And we were like, want to get some tattoos tomorrow? And I was like, I don't really have any money to spend on tattoos. And he was like, I'll pay for it. And I was like, fuck it. Okay.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So, we got Coheed and Cambria tattoos.
Awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of Coheed and Cambria, but how about some music? I know you said you don't have any favorite bands. And we talked a little bit about this in our music podcasts. But do you have maybe anything to add as far as just like maybe some of your favorite stuff to listen to?
Well, in terms of genres, growing up, it started with a lot of rock and heavy metal and stuff like that. But over time, as I got older, I'd started listening to more, I was going to say JRPGs, R&B, hip hop, rap, and some techno stuff too. So over the time, it's sort of my taste is sort of, I guess, what's the word? Diversed a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to do that some more, but yeah.
I don't
really have a favorite band, but I just like music.
Yeah. Who do you think has been like the biggest, I guess, music inspiration in your life? Like who influences your music taste most? Has it been like your parents growing up, or was it friends?
Not friends. Probably parents. Yeah, just because like whenever we're driving and they have their music playing, and like over time I've started to add some of their songs into my own playlist that they play. So probably my parents a little bit, but also just me just looking around, looking for music, and then getting my taste through that. Yeah.
I was kind of in that same boat of I mean, as anytime I was ever in the car with my mom and dad, like if I was in the car with my mom, I listened to a lot of CeeLo Green and like Erykah Badu and a lot of just R&B, I guess, of that nature. And same thing with just a lot of hip hop. I listened to a lot of like early 2000s R&B and rap and 90s stuff. And with my dad, it was more like we listened to like 93.7 The Rock of Austin, like or like 101X, like alternative Austin. Like we just listened to a lot of newer stuff, and pretty much all the older stuff that he would show me would be shit like the Beastie Boys and Metallica and Nirvana. A lot of the more heavier side of stuff, But yeah, I think as I kind of grew up, I started listening to more bands on my own. Kind of what you were saying, trying to find more my own taste. But I definitely would be lying, if I didn't mention a lot of my good friends growing up. And just the music and movies and shows and stuff that they influenced into me, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Coheed and Cambria, I would probably say is my favorite band. There's just so many, I don't know. There's just so many branches to like what their music is that I just haven't even fully explored yet. So it's like, it just kind of seems like this never-ending pit of learning about this universe that they created and just listening to good music. So, and that was because of my buddy Chris, who I, went to church with him and like hung out with him outside of all of that. We worked together at Discount Tire and all this stuff. Like we were just really close friends. So for a lot of his music taste became a lot of my music taste as well, which is how I started kind of getting into more of like the more metal and math rock and indie rock and emo and shit like that. But yeah, music is definitely a big part of just a lot of who I am. I know it's rare. I know it's rare to find people who care about music. I know. But
no, I think there's a lot.
Oh,
actually.
I'm joking. Obviously, that was
right,
yeah. It's like because everyone nowadays, especially if you live in fucking Austin, it's like everyone is like, music is my identity, and it's like, okay, yeah, you and fucking everyone else. Like,
yeah.
okay. Other than those things, what other hobbies do you have? If it's not video games, what is it that you're doing? Other than like responsibilities like work.
Just watching anime, really.
Yeah.
The only other thing.
Nice.
Because anime's good. I like it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Do you have a? Oh yeah, you said you don't have a favorite anime. What is your?
Nope.
What is current?
Actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. My favorite anime.
You have an all-time
of all. Yes, I figured out 3 of them. So my top 3 anime of all time. Number 3 is Hajime no Ippo, which is a boxing anime. That one's really good. Number 2 is One Piece. That's the anime that a lot of people my age, they grew up with like Naruto and stuff. And I grew up with Naruto too, but One Piece for me is much closer to my heart, personally. I still do like Naruto though, but One Piece for me is definitely number 2. And then number 1 is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, just the series as a whole, not any specific part.
I feel like I did know that.
Oh, yeah, you did. I've said it before.
Yeah. Other than like kind of the all-time, is there anything that you're watching right now that you would probably say is your favorite currently?
So right now I'm currently watching the original Beyblade series.
Okay.
And there's 3 seasons. Each season is 50 episodes, and I just finished season 1. I'm currently watching season 2, and like that was pretty fun. It's not the best, but it's fun just as nostalgia. But probably my favorite anime that I recently watched was Hitman Reborn, because I started watching that a while ago, but I stopped. And recently, earlier this year, I decided, all right, I'm gonna fucking finish this, and it was good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, that is one of those shows where it's a meme at this point, but that is a show that you really need to just kind of get through, like in the beginning stages, because it gets fucking nuts.
Yeah, it definitely is a slow burn. It takes like 19 episodes until shit happens.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so good. I love it.
Oh yeah, for a fact, it's very good. I highly recommend.
Yeah, I don't know if I have like a favorite anime. I probably didn't really start watching full series. I watched episodes of Pokemon and Dragon Ball and Naruto and One Piece, like here and there if they were just like on Toonami. But I wasn't even always watching Toonami. It was like, I just watched shows if they were on. Right. But probably the first one that I could be wrong, but it took me a while to really say that I was like a fan of anime until the very first season of Attack on Titan came out. And I think that show, even compared to like normal shows nowadays that are considered like classics, like right now I'd probably say that Breaking Bad and shows like Mad Men and early seasons of The Walking Dead, not current ones, but just like those shows are pretty much all around considered like some of the greatest shows ever made. But I would have said, fuck that, Attack on Titan is the best show ever made. Like I would have said that. Season 1, it's a
very good show.
It
has a lot of broad appeal. I think that's what makes it so good too.
Yes. Yeah, and it's unfortunate now because I know the show just ended, and I guess is the manga also over?
Yeah, the manga ended 2 days ago. Actually, it's officially done.
Yeah, so and I've been seeing memes left and right about just like the finale and all this stuff, and I just don't. I would like to get it. I would like to.
The anime is not done yet.
Oh well, I'd like
part 1.
Right. Just kind of like, what are they on, season 4 right now?
Yeah, season 4, part 1 finished.
Yeah, so I've been seeing stuff on that, and I'm like, I'd like to get what's going on, but it's hard for me to like motivate myself to get to there.
Yeah.
And that literally all comes down to the fact that it took them so fucking long to make season 2. I know the manga was out, and I could have had it there at my disposal, and I know a lot of people are manga purists and are like, don't even watch the anime, just read the manga and it's better. So it's like, oh well, whatever. Maybe well, I'll get through this fast. Maybe if you want to have me as a guest on your anime podcast, we can talk more about this shit. But anyways, for a long time, I'd say that was probably my favorite anime. And then, I don't know. Right now, probably Demon Slayer.
Oh, yeah. Demon Slayer is very good.
Shit. Yeah.
Very
okay. One hobby of yours that I know, you do work a lot on, and this kind of can go into just kind of like, maybe what are some goals that we have, whether they be like business or personal. What are some goals that you have with maybe things that you work on outside of just your day job?
So the main thing that I work on is my personal channel, Mushrooman, which is primarily a comedic review of movies, video games, and anime. And so pretty much just working on that, trying to see how far I can get with it. Because originally, around the end of last year, 2020, I think I had around 160, 180 subs. And I told myself, like, I think I could make it to about 500 subs by the end of 2021. So that was originally my goal. But then literally in January, the month hadn't even ended yet in 2021. I already hit over 500 subs just out of nowhere, which was insane to me that happened. So now my goal, I guess, is just to see how far I can get with it.
Yeah.
Within this year. And I already have a bunch of video ideas that I want to do, some that I'm currently working on. So yeah, and then with Videoverse, the gaming channel, Let's Play channel with you and me and Brandon and Cole, my goal with that is to see if we can get up to around 300 subs by the end of the year. Because right now we're at 160. We've gone up a little bit because
we have, yeah.
Yeah, because I believe in 2020 we had 140. Yeah, we had 140 for a while. So within a couple of months we've gone up 20 subs, which is good. So my goal for that is to see how close we can get to 300. And also, I've said this many times, I would like for Videoverse to start streaming once we finish the games that we're currently playing.
Yeah. So,
yeah, those are my goals with Videoverse and Mushrooman. And with my other podcast, The Ramen Stand, I don't really have any major goals with that at the moment. I mean, I have ideas. I do have ideas for videos that I want us to do, just podcast-related stuff. Yeah, that one's just kind of like more chill at the moment. Don't really have any major plans with that one, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll come up with stuff eventually.
Nice. Yeah, dude, it's been, we were talking about this a little bit last night, but it's been crazy for me too, just to see how fast, your personal channel, Mushroom Man, blew up. Mm-hmm. And, and I think we both are kind of looking at that and kind of, it's like on one hand, you've got this stuff that you've made that you pour a lot of like your sort of like personal like commentary into, like your comedic reviews. Mm-hmm. And then you have the stuff that just kind of will naturally blow up, like the 1 second of every episode of One Piece and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it's cool to just see all the comments too, because I feel like that really is where you start to feel a bit more, I don't know, not like I made it, but you start feeling more like your work is paying off.
100%. Like it's huge motivation for me.
Yeah. Even if it's like bullshit comments and stuff, it's like, hey, there's still like some kind of conversation here. And then sometimes like somebody will reply to other people's comments and stuff, and you see people just having discussions with each other, and you're like, wow, it kind of feels like I have this little city that I've built, and now I'm kind of populating it, and it feels really cool, like just to see all these people here.
Feeling.
So
I do like it a lot.
I'm excited just to kind of see those people in your chat just kind of continue to grow and expand. Yeah, a lot of really good stuff too. What you said with like streaming and stuff too, that's another thing, you know, whether it's with Videoverse alone or even with this channel on Overleveled Games, the YouTube channel. Even if it was not just like a me and you sort of thing, but if I were to do some personal streaming or something, or if it was like with Brandon or something, I would like for... I personally would like to make this channel not so much like a variety channel. Like I want it to still have that specific theme of like, hey, this is a place to kind of just shoot the shit and just talk about our love for video games and stuff like that, and just play video games. I don't know if I would go as far as to like start doing Let's Plays and stuff on here. But you know, for instance, we have this video that me and you just recorded of us reacting to The World Ends With You anime, you know? And it's like, it's not entirely the same as like discussing video games in particular. But, you know, I am in a spot now where I really just want to see what works. I want to build a community of people who care about the same shit that we care about, you know? And maybe have people who care about stuff that I don't currently care about a whole lot, but maybe they can persuade us into liking something new, whether it's a new show or a new game or something like that, or a new movie. You know, I personally am looking at this channel and this podcast that we got going right now, and you know, the growth that we have isn't as exponential and as fast as what you saw on Mushrooman, but
but it's still insane.
It's still like for growing channels, it's I mean, obviously, really I feel like if any growing channel that you probably would see nowadays are those channels who do what your channel has done, where it's like overnight there's like a spike and it's like, whoa, okay. But you know, for a channel that is growing steadily, we're going a lot faster than I initially anticipated.
Oh, same, yeah. Like it's doing way better than I thought it was doing already. Like this is insane, and all the people have been listening and watching and responding, and it's great.
It's so awesome. Cool. Yeah. So, you know, as far as that's kind of my goal with this channel. And this channel really is one of the bigger personal hobbies that I have right now. So, you know, as far as other hobbies for me go, I love video games and I love to watch movies and watch TV. Oh, just punched my microphone. Nice. You know, I love all that stuff too. But if you knew this, obviously you know this, but I do have a 1-year-old daughter and a wife, and I'm about to be 22 years old. Nicole, my wife, she is 22. So, you know, we're kind of young. We just kind of moved a little bit out of the Austin area into where it's a little bit more north and a little bit more cheaper. So right now we're just in a spot where, other than me working a full-time job and other than me pouring out everything that I can into this channel and into this podcast and into promoting it on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or wherever, other than that, all of my time and all of my life and love go into, you know, my baby who is asleep in the room right next to me and my wife who is just on Instagram right now in the living room probably. So those are kind of my big two, my my girls. Right. You know, those are it's disgraceful to even call them a hobby. They're a responsibility for sure, but I love them to death, and right. I love spending time with them and going to the park with my daughter and all that. So cool. I actually
yeah.
gave my wife a hour-long break earlier. Like, I got home from work and was exhausted, and then my wife came home from the store with Rosie, and I could just tell she had a bad week. So I was like, hey,
Right.
I'll take Rosie, and we can kind of I don't know, we'll just go to Best Buy or something, because I needed to buy a new cable for this microphone anyways. So we just went out, and I brought home Chick-fil-A and stuff, and we Gucci, like, I love being able to do that stuff for
Hell yeah,
my wife.
definitely. So. That's awesome.
So yeah,
Good man.
yeah, thanks, bro. Dad of the year. So speaking of work, maybe you don't have to like say exactly where you work or anything. If you want to, you can. But what do you do? If you want to just give a description of what your job duties are.
I don't mind saying where I work. I'm just not gonna say exactly where.
Oh yeah, don't say like the store number or anything.
Yeah, I work at HEB, which is, for people who aren't in Texas, is a grocery store where you get shit. But specifically, I work in the curbside department where I grab people's orders and shove them in their cars.
Nice.
And it's way better than being a cashier because there's so much unnecessary drama bullshit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
much better.
Oh, yeah. Whew, that's like pretty much
what
one of the biggest reasons why I couldn't bring myself to like try to continue applying to HEB, was just because I was like, I know I'll have to start off as cashier and I can't fucking do that. But yeah, so I I guess I really can't say the company that I work for because it is an independent business just owned by one guy who I work with, So if I told the name of it, you'll find there's like 10 employees.
Right.
So I work for a pool company, and I clean pools. So I'm just outside all day, just flexing my muscles for all of the for all of the patrons on the inside of their $1 million homes.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So
that's what we like to see.
Oh yeah, I mean that's probably the nicest part about it, is just I'm in the Westlake Hills of Austin and shit, and just like there's a few famous people who I know for sure I do their pools. Like, I don't know if maybe your dad has heard of them, or maybe you heard them from your dad growing up, but there's a 90s there's like a 90s hip hop group called Bone Thug and Harmony, and one of the front men, one of the front guys of that group, I do his pool. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, tight.
I'm just waiting to see if I do Matthew McConaughey's pool now.
Okay,
so
get him on the podcast.
Oh yeah, please, Matthew. I know you're a fan of Japanese role-playing video games.
Definitely.
Okay. Other than that, DJ, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is black and red.
Ooh.
I love those colors.
I'm
I have
currently
a lot of
looking at a
shirts
black
in
and
those
red
colors.
photo.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of. I remember I bought a lot of black shirts, and my mom was like, "Can you get something that isn't black, please?" Like, she would be very upset that a lot of my clothes were just black. I wasn't an emo kid, definitely not. I just liked the color black.
Wow.
But
yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite color, Gavin?
You know what? Probably for all of like my middle school life and up until I was maybe like a junior in high school, I would probably say the same thing, red and black. And I can tell you exactly why.
Okay.
And whenever I think I was either in the 5th grade or 6th grade, there was an episode of Adventure Time, which at the time was like my favorite show. Like basically until I watched Attack on Titan, I was like, Adventure Time is the best show.
Yeah.
So there was an episode of Adventure Time where the gender roles for every character was flipped around. So right. Instead of Finn and Jake, you had Fiona and Cake. So the vampire character in that show, Marceline, her male counterpart was this guy named Marcel. And Marceline was already like my favorite character in the show, mostly because she was all goth and Always go for the goth. You know, she was all goth, and she was a musician and a vampire and mysterious, and I was like, oh, hey.
Hello.
You know, got 5th grade Gavin going.
Jesus.
Anyways, the male counterpart, his name was, I believe it was Marcel, and the clothing that he wore was a black and red, flannel long sleeve shirt. Yeah. And he wore black skinny jeans. So for a long time, that was my fucking fit. That was what I was. That's what I was repping in Westview Middle School. You know, like that was
Marcel.
Dude, I was Marcel, and my hair was so long. I don't know if you ever met me when my hair was at its longest.
Oh yeah, when we first met,
dude,
you had long ass hair.
Yeah, I mean, I could fucking reach. I could like put my hand behind my back and like just grab the ends of my hair. Like it was long. Like, and I would straighten it all the time, and I was fully repping that scene goth life, you know?
Nice.
So, but nowadays, I think probably I wear a lot of black and white, but I also like gray.
Yeah, I've seen you in gray, yeah, I do wear more colors.
Me and DJ were literally joking about like, oh, I could spend fucking 30 minutes talking about my favorite color. I feel like we've already spent like almost 10 minutes talking about this shit.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I do wear more colored shirts now. Like I got some greens, some purples, some blues.
I used to be really into wearing shirts and stuff that had like graphic designs on them, like sorry teacher bitch, my dog ate my homework, you cunt. Like you just like
shirt.
You know, the classic like freshman shirt.
Yeah.
Or you know, like, yeah, my full-time job outside of school is being an epic gamer or some shit like that, you know. So yeah,
real drip. That was the
real drip, you know. Or like, sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of my awesomeness.
Yeah.
You know, just some fucking cool shit like that. So, yeah, okay, cool. Well, I guess another easy one. I feel like we've said this enough already, but where are you from?
Like where I was born?
Sure, yeah. And where were you born? Where were you raised?
I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and then literally not long after I was born, we moved. So I have literally no idea what it's like there. And primarily I was raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I lived there for a while. Fucking boring. And then after a couple of years, because I pretty much went through like 4 different elementary schools in the span of a year. So I went to 2 in Cleveland, Ohio, and then 2 more in Austin, Texas. But yeah, I'd say Austin, Texas is where I guess I was raised the most, because that's where I lived most of my life there.
Yeah.
So I guess, Austin, Texas.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah. Kind of a similar situation, or not so similar. Kind of, I don't know. Anyway, Nicole, my wife, was born in Dallas. And then, literally, when she was 2 weeks old, moved to the Pflugerville, Austin area, and was was raised in that one house that she moved into the rest of her life. Until we got married and she moved in with me. Like, that's where she lived. But yeah, so for me, I was born in, I guess I would say I was raised in Austin, Texas as well. And I've lived there most of my life. But I also lived in Tennessee, and I lived in Indiana. The circumstances of those were kind of wild because of, living with my granny and my aunt because of weird parent situations and all that stuff.
Right.
But then, whenever I was kind of getting out of that mode of living with my aunt and being raised by her and my granny, I was then with my mom and yeah, pretty much raised in pretty much all of my elementary schools were in Austin. All in that one like little district.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you met each other in the same high school.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. We had
English class.
English, yeah. With do you remember her name?
I do not know.
Neither do I. She was kind of a bitch though, so.
Was she? I don't remember.
As far as I remember. Good riddance. I don't know. I to me, I feel like I just didn't like her because she was just as immature as all of the students who we went to school with.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Probably.
she was way too sassy.
Oh,
Like, she was just sassy, like way too sassy. I'm like,
Right.
lady, I'm depressed. Like, stop being so sassy to me. So,
sassy lady.
yeah, but yeah, we met each other there, and
Yep.
then, yeah, do you want to kind of, because I feel like we talked about this a little bit in a Videoverse podcast that we did, but I feel like for some reason you have the better memory of how we came into getting to know each other pretty well, like outside of being in the same English class. But do you want to kind of give a brief rundown of how that all went down?
Pretty much I can't remember which grade it was. I mean, because we were like cool with each other, but we never really talked at all until one moment. I remember you were just like kind of sad about something dealing with a girl or whatever.
Okay, so we were juniors. We were juniors in high school.
Were we juniors? Maybe.
Well,
probably.
that's when I was sad about that girl.
Okay. So yeah, then junior year, yeah, you were telling me about it, and I remember you texted me about it, and pretty much ever since then, we just started talking more and just being buddies, and we would hang out during lunch with everybody else. That's sort of like the moment when our friendship really started to form, I guess. I would say.
Yeah. Real fast though.
What's up?
My wife just came in here and handed me the most delicious smoothie in the world.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So
thank you, Gavin's wife.
Her name is Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay.
Okay, Gavin's wife.
All right, continue your fucking lame story.
Well, that's pretty much it. I pretty much finished
Nice.
it.
Cool.
Just, yeah, that was pretty much the moment when we truly became buds.
Yeah. So we've mentioned this a little bit when talking about kind of our goals and our stuff that we're doing outside of this channel. But Videoverse, that I feel like was another big, like the start of Videoverse, I believe was another big stepping stone into me and you just becoming good friends, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel that way with like everybody on that channel.
Yeah. Like it started as like a cool idea that was kind of like passed around to all of us. Mm-hmm. And then that idea kind of became the channel. And then through that channel, oh God, sneezing. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah. Like through that channel is kind of how we all decided that we would become better friends. It was just like, well,
100%.
Yeah. So I guess now it's,
it's Facebook official.
Yeah, Facebook official. I just realized. I just realized that I've been recording all of my audio through the left speaker.
Ah.
So I'm gonna have to remember to fix all of that in post and have it all come stereo.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So Videoverse is our gameplay channel.
Yep.
We started doing that, and the first games that me and DJ played together were it was Mega Man X.
Yep.
And
that was the first series.
Yeah, and I think even like sure there's some like I'm pretty sure even in current episodes we can look back at those and be like that's kind of cringe, but
yeah.
But even in those old episodes. I feel like a lot of it still kind of holds up as far as comedy goes, or at least
for the most part,
for making me laugh.
Yeah.
So
no, I definitely feel that way.
Yeah, but there's some cringe. But guys, we've got another channel that for a long time we uploaded fucking daily, and now the structure is a bit more. I guess it's just a little bit more workshopped, and
It's
a bit
more
of a focus
quality
to it.
versus quantity now.
Yeah, which is no matter how we were doing it, I think the highlight of that channel was just the fact that we would get together and we would record episodes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like even still now, like I still have a desire to record Videoverse episodes, but I remember there was a time where even if those episodes weren't uploaded, I was just fucking excited just to like sit there with you, or like sit there with you and Brandon or something, and we just act like we were talking to a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
Even though at the time we weren't even at like 100 subscribers. And a lot of the people who were subscribed were like people who subscribed to us from like high school, you know? So it was like, and the channel is still relatively small. So, hey, if this channel blows up before Videoverse does, go ahead and also subscribe to there because, we're still consistent with it. It's not every day, but it's at least every week. Even if it's just
twice a week.
1 or 2 videos. Okay, yeah, twice a week. It's consistently twice a week. So, yeah, let me see if I had some other shit. We still actually have a few more questions, but as far as like YouTubers, what were some? Maybe you can just answer one of these if you want, or if you can go into both of them. But like, what were some YouTubers who you kind of watched growing up that maybe inspired you to be on YouTube, or like who are some creators maybe that you watch right now that inspire the way that you make videos now?
So I guess ones that I watched first growing up as a kid were Nigahiga, Smosh, Game Grumps, JonTron, those guys.
That's
and like
right.
just not necessarily like what they did inspire me to do, like explicitly what they did, but just the fact that they were just having fun creating things. I just really liked that idea and wanted to do that. And but obviously over time, my interest, because the very first channel we made was Videoverse, which is obviously inspired by Game Grumps. So
yeah,
I guess probably them. And then with Mushrooman, how that sort of started, because I'd say Mushrooman is pretty JonTron inspired in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
Sort of, and
I
pretty
see
much
it,
how that
definitely.
Yeah, sort of how that started was it was just like my very first video, which was my comedic review of Batman, is my very first video, but that was the second video I uploaded. Comedic review of Batman, and that was just like a school project where originally they just wanted us to film us doing a review of a movie from, I believe, the 80s, that around that era when that Batman movie was made. And at the time, with my degree, I wasn't doing a whole bunch of film classes. It was more just regular classes. I was like, man, I need to start doing like some actual projects and shit because I'm not really doing anything. And so with that video, I really wanted to do something that wasn't just me sitting in front of a camera just saying, here's the thing about this movie. I kind of wanted to put more effort into it.
Yeah.
And so I made that comedic review Batman where I was actually just like sitting down, making up jokes and talking about this movie, my opinions and different things like that. And my professor loved it. Like, she really enjoyed that video. And now apparently she actually, every semester, when it comes to that project, she actually plays my video showing all the different classes that, like, how that project could be done and things like that.
That's so cool.
And I do, and some of my class, and some people who've taken that class have actually come up to me and be like, hey, I saw your video from the professor. And I was like, oh, that's weird to think about, but thank you. That's like my worst video. And then same thing with the Pocahontas video. Like, that was also for a class, for my American literature class, where the final project was, either way we had to write a paper, but it was either write just a regular paper going in detail about one of the stories we read, or create a creative piece about one of the stories we read, and then your paper just needs to be about the creative process of making that project. And so obviously I did that, the latter, making a creative piece. And so I made a comedic review of Pocahontas, and I showed that in class, and everybody loved it. A lot of people were laughing at the jokes. And when it came time for the next person to go, one of the guys jokingly said, "Professor, I don't think any of us can top that."
That's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that Pocahontas video. I mean, it's the first one on your channel, like you had mentioned. But I remember very distinctly being like, definitely not like in a bad way at all, but I was like, this is very JonTron-esque. I remember like really feeling like, wow, like he's really doing the whole JonTron thing, like, and which is great because I miss JonTron. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I feel like just his videos now. I mean, he's got some good stuff now, but like the kind of thing that you were doing in that Pocahontas video, and even in the Hajime no Ippo video, and like the Bizarre World of Tekken, even just like and your other stuff, like the Nightmare on Elm Street one. You know, it's like I definitely feel that that like inspiration right there, and it's like refreshing because I'm like, cool, like maybe DJ can keep on doing it and be the new JonTron. Please be the new JonTron.
Yeah, two other channels that sort of helped with that inspiration with the channel is one channel called Super Eye Patch Wolf, who he does more anime, but every now and then he'll talk about a movie or a video game or sometimes even wrestling. And he does sort of that analysis thingy where he'll just talk about different shows. And same thing with Nakey Jakey too. Like, I like his style of videos. Yeah. And I just like how with their channels, they don't have a specific theme where they talk about one specific genre. They just talk about a bunch of different things. And a lot of people don't necessarily come to their videos because of what they're talking about. I mean, that can help, obviously, but they more come for that person, and the topic is secondary. And like, that's probably my biggest goal for Mushrooman and for Videoverse, for this podcast, for the Ramen Stand, is for people to come to the channel for us rather than necessarily the topic. I mean, definitely the topic will be a big bonus because like whenever you see a topic that you're interested in, just like, oh fuck yeah. But like, I'd love it if it's more just like, oh fuck yeah, he uploaded a video.
Exactly.
In general,
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, those were the channels for me.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, man. Yeah, so gosh, what was even the question that I asked? Oh, YouTubers.
It was YouTubers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so everyone who you mentioned, man, I love all their shit, man. So good. Even for me too, with growing up, it was I honestly probably the same. Like what you were saying, Smosh, Nigahiga, Game Grumps. But there were also people like the Computer Nerd 01, who I remember me and Brandon were showing you some of his videos from like whenever, God, I don't know, what was that, like 14 years ago or something. Like, I had a YouTube channel growing up, and one of them is deleted that has a lot of older, debatably even more cringe and better videos. But one channel that is still up now, yeah, fuck it, I'll just say it's called Blake Time 101. All like no spaces. BLAKETIME 101, and the name Blake came from the fact that in the 3rd grade my yearbook came back to me and my name in the yearbook was Blake, and that's not my name. My name is Gavin.
Not even close.
So I was just like, okay. Hey teach, name's not Blake.
What's going on?
And then she's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, okay, well, no, it's not. And so that was just whenever Blake Time 101 happened. And so basically from there, and Brandon is home. So, yeah, basically it was because of those channels like Nigahiga and the Computer Nerd 01 that I was just like, I just want to do sketches. I want to make movies and stuff. And then even like Nigahiga made a movie. I think it was just called like the Nigahiga movie or something. And then
I remember that.
Like, I was just so sold on the fact that I wanted to be like a movie director or something whenever I was younger. And I was just like, well, it's kind of a lot. I don't know if I can do that. So I, just kind of stuck around to like doing YouTube videos. And then progressively over the years wanted to do more stuff with video games. And in particular, it was channels like Ego Raptor and JonTron coming together to make Game Grumps. Dude, I was so fucking amped to start like doing a video game YouTube channel. So I made Games Guys, and me and Brandon did that, and then everything about that channel just kind of started like falling apart. It really had no more direction and sort of what the purpose of the channel was. So right now, I still just use that channel as my personal like, I subscribe to all of my channels using that channel, and I comment on videos using that channel. Like, that's just like the channel that I use, though it's very inactive. But one cool piece about that channel, though, that we can still go back and see is technically the very first episode of Videoverse.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's true.
Me and you played like the first like 20 minutes or something of Owl Story or Owlboy. Owlboy.
Yeah, Owlboy. That's right. I remember.
And I called it. I think I just called like the video "Bombastic Birdman" or something like that.
I remember that.
Yeah. But and then we had Videoverse and all that, and all of which still continued to be inspired by channels like Game Grumps, other channels too, but the big ones.
I was kind of thinking, how would you feel if either Blake Time 101 or Games Guys just tomorrow hit 100 million? Not 100 million, like 1 million subs.
I don't even know how I would feel because, like, if it was Games Guys, that'd be awesome because I'm still logged into that channel. But if it was Blake Time 101, I lost the password.
Oh no!
I know one of those videos has like 20,000 views or something like that, and every one of the comments are like, "I want to hold you down and shit all over your face. Fuck you, you stupid 10-year-old." And I'm like, thanks.
Oh, no. And thank you. Subscribe.
Me and my dog were playing around, and people thought I was abusing him. So, yikes.
Yikes.
But yeah, so that would be cool if something like that happened. But also, I don't even know how I would feel. Like, also, I'd be so fucking confused. Like, why?
Oh yeah.
What are people interested in? What about this channel is interesting?
What the fuck is up with this algorithm?
It's like, it would literally just be if the topic of cringe became the most famous, famous YouTube topic of all.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it kind of
like
is
you see
now.
PewDiePie,
but...
like it became popular because PewDiePie reacted to one of your videos.
Yeah. Maybe that makes sense, but that's the only thing that I can think of.
Right.
But anyways, we had some other questions, but we're a little over an hour now. So, and we also just did a whole fucking like 40 or 30 minute recording of us talking about The World Ends With You. So, on the next episode, I'm gonna try to start doing a lot of pre-production stuff on how we can get a podcast review out. Me and DJ are going to be discussing and going in depth on the very, very first Final Fantasy video game. So DJ,
yes.
you ready? Are you ready for your small amount of homework?
What's up?
I like how that's not a yes or no. I just want you to, whenever we get to the topic next week, just tell me whatever you can about the battle system of the very first Final Fantasy game and how exploration worked. Like how like just overworld maps, towns, fighting enemies, bosses, stuff like that. And then I'm going to be doing more research side on stuff like just going in depth on like really what the story of that game is, plot twists, and music. And then before all that, though, I'll go into just kind of like the more development side. So yeah, if you just want to talk more about the mechanics of that game, like how it just played, like the gameplay wise, I'll go more over like the story and like sound and just like maybe visuals and stuff.
Oogie.
But yeah, so the question for next week is what is your favorite moment in the first Final Fantasy game? Or maybe that can be kind of rearranged in other ways. Like it could be what console did you play it on? Did you play the NES version first? Did you play the PSP version or the Game Boy Advance or the fucking WonderSwan version? Or you know, just share a memory of the very first Final Fantasy game that you have. Or not your first Final Fantasy game, but if you experienced the first Final Fantasy, just share a memory of that one or something. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Right. I hope we got to kind of
thank you.
share enough interesting tidbits here and there about our lives. And maybe in the future, if people want to know more or people got questions for us, we can do another kind of deep dive into who Gavin and DJ are. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. All right, man, I will talk to you later, and to everyone out there, again, thank you for listening. We will see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.